You know what's crazy? Most people making the most money aren't the smartest. They're not they're not the most prepared. They're not waiting for everything to be perfect. They're the ones who moved first. And the people stuck? They're stuck because they optimized for safety instead of growth. They perfected the art of waiting. And waiting is slow death. This video shows you the exact difference between people who win and people who stay broke. The lie you've been sold is that risk and safety are opposites. So you choose safety, you choose waiting, you choose the secure path, and you end up with a secure and predictable mediocre life. The cost? Everything. Your potential, your time, your money, your self-respect. Because deep down you know you're capable of more, but you're playing it safe. And why? Because your environment rewarded caution. School rewarded you for following the rules. Your parents rewarded you for being safe. Your broke friends rewarded you for staying in the group. So you learned waiting is smart and risk is stupid. And waiting is only safe if you already have money, connections, or time. And since you don't, waiting is literally costing you money every single day. And why it matters this? Every day you work a job, you hate it, but it founds your lifestyle you don't want. That's money lost. Every day you don't build a skill, that's opportunity lost. Every day you don't start something, someone else is gaining on you. For example, you're waiting until you have 100,000 to quit your job. But what if you took a $2,000 risk on a business right now? What if in 2 years you have made 50,000? You just created value. But if you wait for but if you wait to save 100,000, you lost 4 years of your life. And that business never gets built. But here's what actually happens when you move. Every action you take teaches you something. Waiting never will. Why this matters? Because when you take a risk and fail, you know exactly what doesn't work, or you might find out soon. You can adjust, you can try something, you can try again, smarter. But when you wait, you have zero. Zero information, nothing. You're guessing. And guessing is worse than knowing you're wrong. For example, you post your first video and it gets reviews. That sucks, right? But now you know. You can post, the world doesn't end yet. Now you try again with a different content. Then you study what works. In 6 months, you're making money. Someone waiting to be ready. They're still thinking about it. And the gap between you and them keeps growing. And you don't need to risk everything. You need to risk something. Something that compounds. And why this matters? Risk 500 on a course. Risk 10 hours a week on a side business. Risk your ego to ask for a deal or negotiation. These small risks taken repeatedly create exponential growth. But waiting? It creates nothing. For example, you risk an hour a day on content or whatever, side business. In a year, that's 365 hours of experience. In 2 years, you're an expert. And someone waiting until they feel ready, they'll never catch up because the gap is permanent. But most people never take that first small risk because so waiting protects your ego. And moving brushes it. And that's exactly why moving is worth it. For example, your first post gets no likes. That's bad. Your first offer gets rejected. Your first business fails. It hurts, right? It hurts. But a year later, you're past it. And you've built something. Someone who waited, they still haven't risked anything. So they still have a perfect ego and nothing else. And you might be thinking, this is reckless. You're telling me to throw away my money. I used to think like that as well. And here's why it's incomplete. Not risking is throwing your life away. It's spending your years on someone else's dream for a paycheck that never gets you ahead. At least when you risk, you're playing for your own goals. The reality is, risk is how you escape. The people who are free, financially free, time free, mentally free, they all took a risk. The people who are stuck, they waited. And here's what you need to remember. Waiting feels safe, yeah. But it's the most dangerous thing you can do. Risk feels scary. It should be scary because you don't know what's happened. You don't know what it happens. You don't know if it could go wrong, or bad, or good. See, there's a 50-50. I made it sound different, but it's a 50-50. And it's the actual path to freedom. If you take one risk, you fail maybe 50 risks. You took 50 risks, you failed all of them. You took the 51st one, and that one worked. You took a good risk, and that one worked, and covered all of those 50 that failed. One small bet on yourself, and you'll be shocked where it gets you in a year. And your waiting friends will still be there, in the same place you left them. So join the Incrementum community, where we celebrate, calculate risks, learn from failure, and build real wealth. Not waiting, not scrolling, but action. So drop a comment. What's the one risk you're going to take this week? Tell me, I'm interested. Make it real. Hold yourself accountable in front of this community. See you next time.